Hi, Cancer. Welcome back to the Artisan Tarot. This is Luna. I am going to do your Dragon Oracle card reading with the Dragonfae Oracle and the Fae Blessings because, Cancer, don't panic. But long story short, I wanted to be back for readings as of the 20th of June, and I will not be because I have a medical issue that came up. Turns out I have a non-malignant tumor that has to be removed. It's causing problems with mobility and things like that. So far they think it's non-malignant, but I have to have it removed on the 20th, and then I will have to be laying down for at least till the end of July. They haven't really told me about recovery, but it just says that when I've looked up what they're going to have to do, like that I will have to be laying down for a good while. So I will not be able to do readings like I wanted, which is very frustrating because I was so looking forward to coming back. So I decided to go ahead and do your reading from now all the way to the 1st of July. And then maybe a little bit after we'll be able to get back to personal sessions. Not entirely sure at this point. It depends on my recovery and when I can do these sessions. So in the meantime, if you guys would like to help support me so that I may pay for the surgery to have it, you may tip me down in the description box below. I will not be opening my calendar back up until I can for sure take appointments again. So if you would also like to support me and you want to become a patron on Patreon, I have that link down in the description box below where I already have content posted from April to May. Some of them were readings, tarot card readings. Sometimes it's good to look back at previous sessions. Maybe you've learned something between now and then, how the events have played out. I also have oracle card readings that have to do with rites, rituals, spellworks, and incantations with the Isis oracle messages and from Mother Isis herself on that deck. That is also posted to Patreon. So that would really help me out right now, guys, because your girl's got to pay for that surgery and she don't have insurance. So, and also like, share, and subscribe, my loves. That would really, really help me out. So let's go ahead and look into your reading, Cancer. Now I know this time I told y'all last month there was going to be a little cray cray in your house of friends. Did I not? Did Mercury disappoint me? Probably not on that prediction, or at least your social life and how your social life was affected, because I'm pretty sure that happened. So give me just a second here. Let me see my beautiful Dragon Oracle deck. What messages do you have in terms of guidance for Cancer for the month of June 2022 going into the first week of July? Ooh, Cancer, why do we have so many? What the hell? Sorry. Like, I'm like, every time I think it's going to be easy reading with you guys. Oh, Aries got that too. Okay. We'll have to do some work. Okay. Now I get it. All right. Oh, okay. So a couple of things from the Aries reading that I am seeing is this card and this card, but the positions are actually different. This actually came out in Gemini's reading. So interesting, kind of makes sense because Gemini's your 12th house. So of endings and new beginnings here, magic and mysticism, as well as connection to spirit. You are the first that connects us emotionally to spirit, which is personally, as a fellow water sign, what I love about you, Cancer. But in between all that, we do have some things we need to work out on. So give me a minute here. I'm going to put these cards here because I want to see why we have these two cards here and what the Dragonfae want to do to help you. There's really not that much there in terms of like fear or concern or worries. This just has to do, these two have to deal with issues you need to open and accept. So let's see what the Dragonfae want to help you open and accept so you can turn these readings down into the upright, meaning you'll be able to harness their energy. So show me please for Cancer, June 2022. What is coming through for Cancer? Okay. Oh, perfect. Here's what we got. Goodness. I have decks everywhere. Believe it or not, I have even more in my room. Okay. We're not taking any of these. Okay. These are no's because they came up in reverse. So we're going to put no, but I'm going to take one more. she just came out. Okay, I'm gonna do, she just came out in Gemini's reading too. So you might want to check out that reading too, just for that message. But I'm gonna see and try and pull a new card for Cancer. Show me my beautiful Dragonfae for Cancer. One more message that has to do with the Archangel Gabriel's dragon. Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting, Cancer. Okay. So I'm going to get to the fairy blessings in a second here, but the blessings that I did want to talk about with you so far in terms of like the dragons and their wisdom, you've got first off the white gold dragon from Lyra. Now, I don't know if you've heard of this. You may be a starseed from there. You may be highly connected to there, especially if you come from like Atlantean starseeds, Syrian, and or I always get Lyra and Lemuria confused. Lemuria. I don't exactly know why Lyra comes up whenever I think of Atlantis and Lemuria, but it could be something, maybe they have some kind of origin there. But regardless, I am picking up this energy. Now, this card talks about, whoa. This card talks about how you connect to the ninth dimensional light. This says Christ light, but look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't agree with Christianity. So this deck was kind of based on that, but I don't really like that. It's not what I resonate with. If it does for you, great, but not my cup of tea. So we're going to say the ninth light ray because that's how high that vibration goes. But basically it's the purest white, peaceful healing light that ideally Christ wanted us all to be on this planet. Unfortunately, we're human and we're not like that. So, not everybody can be like that. That's the spice of life. But if you can get to be like that at the opening this month, great. If not, don't worry. We got a whole bunch more to go through. So the next card I have is the Crystal Yellow Dragon. Now, this one I have yet to see actually come out. This actually talks about opening to your higher learning and wisdom. Expand your crown chakra for illumination. Walk the higher spiritual path. Now, this is why I don't agree with Christianity in terms of walking the higher spiritual path. It's not that it's a wrong message. It's that that message gets taken and turned a bit into ego. As to, if you look at my country, what is happening today is mainly due to this type of doctrine being turned, instead of it being turned into positive, I would say, energy, it's being turned towards ego and narcissism. So instead, what I would like for you to do, Cancer, is to go into that ninth vibrational energy and use it to help heal situations that do need to be healed, whether in your life or in society or wherever it is you need. You feel healing is needed, but first things first, you need to double check and make sure if that situation is in need of your healing. So I'm going to bring this up because I didn't think I'd be having this talk today. So on TikTok, there's a lot going on about Christians saying, oh, I'm going to pray for pagans and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That's nice. But that actually goes against someone's free will. A lot of people don't realize that. When you work in what I do, you realize it does. So that's why I say, instead of just throwing yourself into that situation, consult a tarot card reader or go to your tarot cards yourself and or ask for a sign if you don't have those, and ask your guides or whoever you connect with that connects you to this ninth ray, if your interjection into healing is needed upon spirit's behalf and upon the situation's behalf for whoever you're trying to volley for. That's important, because if you do it against it, that's a big spiritual no-no. So that's why I'm saying this is awesome energy to have, but just like with healing, people have to want to accept that. Sometimes people don't. Sometimes they want to do things on their own. Sometimes they just want to stay lost. And it is our responsibility as spiritually enlightened people to know when to use our spiritual gifts in the correct way. Yes, it's great you want to heal that person. I love the intention behind it. It's not that I don't. But did you ask them before you did it? Would you ask them, hey, if someone could heal that energy, would you take it? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you ask them those questions? Because if you say no, then I'm going to tell you, you better go consult spirit on that front. If not, if you can't, ask for a sign, a clear sign. Make sure to ask your guides for and I'm going to say it just like this, a clear sign if you should spiritually with your gifts intervene. If they give you a clear no, then you back off. If they give you a clear yes and they show you how to do it, or you are guided in a way on how to do it, then you intercede, not before. That is a very big thing to learn here, especially because dragons are very much like that too, in the sense of the totem itself. Most spirit guides will only intercede if they are asked. Spirit animal totems are a little bit different. They give you more guidance in the 3D, but the totems themselves of the mystical creatures, it's the same thing. And they because they're trying to give you your free will. And Cancer, I know you're the sign of the mom. I know you want the good of everybody. And, you know, there is nothing wrong with that, but we also need to be mindful that just because we don't align with something in our free will doesn't mean that it's not right for that person. It may not be right for you, but it may be right for them, right? So we can't go judging and sending things away, because then you're incurring karma against that person, their guides, and their path. Is that what you really want? No, we don't want that. So that's why I'm saying, instead, ask. If your assistance is asked and requested by spirit or by that person, by their guides on their behest, then you do it. And I'm talking about in the mystical realm, not in the 3D, not from people who go around saying they have their best intentions for this other person, because 9 times out of 10, and I'm not talking human spirits either. Human spirits, I got to be honest with y'all. When I do psychic mediumship readings, do I work with clients that want to connect with deceased? Yes, I do. It's rare, but I do sometimes from time to time, but mainly around Halloween. But do I work normally with human spirits after they have passed on in my everyday practice? Hell no, they always have some kind of intention. So if you are unsure, I would recommend you get in contact with your guides and ask if they want you to work with a human spirit that has passed on. Have your guides keep that human spirit in check. Have them check them out. Have them feel the intention out. That way, you know whether it really is genuine or it's not. That's the best way I can describe it. You can ask them to do that, and they will, if you know, that way, because remember, they got to keep you in line. They got to keep everything else in balance. And when we start doing things that muck up other people's lives, and you're like, oh, but I'm doing it for their highest good. But did you really? Because was it really for their highest good if they're still stuck or they're not able to do what they were supposed to? Well, no, then it wasn't. Exactly. It's exactly my point. Don't go, I always tell people, don't go opening doors you don't want to pay the karma for, even if it is, like I always tell people, there's that saying, you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Very, very true. And that is where you need to realize, yes, your intention is good, but the way going about it, maybe not so much. So check it out. Now, I'm moving on to week 3, because here's what we've got. We've got the fire dragon in reverse. We're not embracing our protective energies. We're not open to this fiery dragon who wants to like cleanse everything within a mile radius of our house of negative energy. And you're like, but how is that possible? I think because you're beginning to realize, Cancer, as you become more spiritually aware of your spiritual prowess and your abilities, you're beginning to be a bit more hesitant into how you act and what your intentions and motive are. Good. I like that. But we can't still be afraid. We just need to realize, okay, so now we need to ask. It's like a respect thing. It doesn't mean you're misaligned in who you are and that you don't deserve protection. Unless you're doing something naughty, then you do. You like, I'm gonna be honest. People like, you know, just like that girl on TikTok who desecrated that person's, deceased ancestor. That is a felony, by the way. I'm just gonna say it. That was not acceptable, and they totally deserve their karma. And I'm being totally honest, because when people start doing things like that, it's not that they're not worthy of protection. It's the fact that they open doorways now that they are no longer spiritually protected, and they got to pay the karma off. So many people are like, karma is a rhetoric. Why are you making it a rhetoric? Because I've worked with it for 18 years. Like, it is what it is. You cannot work around it. I know we like to think that we don't have to pay our karma, Cancer. Some of you out there, I'm sure. But and even in some spiritual practices, they say karma is not a thing. But I've worked with it for 18 years, and one way or another, it gets paid, whether you're in the realm of the living, the realm of the dead, or you go between both. It doesn't matter. It has to be paid in order for frequency and energies to shift. That's how it works. I wish if we lived in a society without karma, believe me, I wouldn't be so like on it. But I'm making it clear to you guys, because here's the thing. Saturn is retrograde right now, going back into your 7th house of partnership, as well as we have Pluto in there. Pluto is a big karma guy. He's the guy who says, hey, I say what the karma is. I tell you what it is. This is your punishment, because he is the realm of the dead. He is Hades, essentially. Doesn't make him a scary guy. He doesn't want to be the Punisher guy. He never picked that role. It was kind of given to him. It was kind of like there's a joke in Greek mythology. He got cheated by his brothers. But the point is into it. But the point is he settled into his role regardless, and he keeps the cosmic order of what happens after we pass on, where we go, what's done, what's not done, all of that. He keeps all of the infernals down there too. And he also is currently saying, okay, this all needs to be reorganized. Saturn, this is the karma that's got to be paid. This is the karma that hasn't been paid. He's gone because he's had the last 6 months to go through the underworld and be like, check, 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 right? This is out of balance. Okay, how do I fix this? Game plan, check. Give that to Saturn. There we go, check. Again, checking and balancing here. And I want you guys to be very, very, very aware of why these Dragonfae are coming out when I start talking about them, because these two, this one alone is pretty powerful. She's actually the last in the book. Her name's Fernia, but she's meant to be like the spirit Dragonfae guide of the plant fern. She is everlasting. She is always going to be around. You could go a good while without giving her water and she'll still be able to have a life source, but eventually she will dry out if you do not water her at some point and or give her enough water to survive. But Fernia is also about taking responsibility for the actions that you have previously taken, and that can be sometimes kind of hard. And with Saturn in, you're going back into Capricorn in retrograde, and Pluto there, that might not be so easy, because this is about taking responsibility for how you have acted in your partnerships. And while Fernia is a little stern, I love her because she is giving you that guidance of tough motherly love, of the kind of love that it's almost like I just exhibited, of like karma here, karma there. This has to be done. I'm sorry, I love you, but you still, it's like, like when you're babysitting a small child and they act up and you've already told them 3 times and they're like, no, and then they do the thing to make you mad, and you calmly get up and you say, okay, go to timeout. No, please don't send me. I'm so sorry. I know you're sorry. You're still going to timeout, because it's not just about proving a point. It's about getting them to understand that they incurred knowingly what they were doing, and they did it anyway to challenge you. And so you have to show through your actions that they get time out. They don't like timeout. Well, they're going to be there for as long as you say. Ideally, 5 minutes. Given, sometimes there are kids who don't like timeout and they try to run away from it. What does that show? That shows, okay, that shows that they don't like the isolation. So ideally it is working, but it might not always work. It depends on the style of what is needed in that moment as well. And so this is where spirit's kind of coming in. This divine kind of feminine Persephone energy is coming in. And it's like, it's harsh, but it's like, we still have to keep growing. We can't, stay stuck just because I put you in timeout. You've been in timeout, it gets paid, but you know, sometimes we dwell on those things, and we might continue to do that with Saturn and Capricorn. Honestly, Cancer, it wouldn't surprise me because there's just so much going on, and it's a lot of, you know, destruction. But the beauty of it is Pluto is a energy that whatever he destroys, he gives back better. So I want you to think, before you even ask for your better, have you paid your karma off to receive that better? And if you can honestly be like, no, then I'm going to tell you, you should probably work on paying that karma off first, and then ask for the better. And also, you know, that's really how I would say to work these planetary alignments in your 7th house, because partnerships isn't just romantic, it's with every single thing you do. Because this is about I like to think of the 7th house as not just marriage. I mean, yes, it is marriage and partnerships, but it's also legality, allies, you know, contracts, where we live and how we develop our lives. It is a partnership as a whole based on your house of the 4th house of community, right? So we're expanding on that, but through communication. And this is important because Cancer, I want you to understand that you have this Dragonfae here. I actually have pulled this one time. She is the dragon of courage. When you feel like you are backed into a corner, because sometimes Saturn being in a certain placement can make things feel dragged out, backed into a corner. You start kind of acting out and you get highly erratic, especially if you're a water sign, which, believe me, I've been through it. So I understand. When you start to get really defensive and you act that way, that's when this energy kind of comes through to calm you down and let you know you are not alone. She's got your back. She's going to keep watch over you, you know, while you sort yourself out. And this is important because you can't work with Archangel Gabriel's dragon or Gabriel's dragon, because this is a dragon that is high vibe, purity, vibrational. You can't work on that until you go through the muck. I'm sorry. You know, it takes a lot to be spiritually on the up and up. It is. I'm not saying like, oh, it's all torture, pain, and suffering. No, it doesn't have to be. I feel like other people make it that way, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. But with Saturn and Pluto together in your 7th house, that's something that's hard. Like, that's going to be hard. This isn't the path for the faint of heart this month, especially for you for the next 6. This is going to happen for the next 6 months. And I'm telling you this because I would rather you know than you not know and be like, why the hell is this not working? Trust me, I've been there. Why the hell is this not working? Why is nothing I do ever, you know, X, Y, and Z? My case in point. I want you to understand, Cancer, your efforts do not go in vain, but the efforts of how you're putting them in the 3D may not exactly be practical for all involved. And that's another thing, because I talked about going against someone's free will, but let's also talk about how practically for you, that may be right, but practically for the situation, if others are involved, it might not be. And there is nothing wrong with your intentions, or, you know, now that you've cleared up your actions. But I think what you need to do is you need to channel into this purity energy of because it self-discipline. It talks about bringing purification with speed and ascension to bring joy. But Archangel Gabriel is actually the angel of communication in art history. I talk about this all the time. He is the angel who gives Mary the Annunciation. We talk about this for like 1600 years worth of art history with the Annunciation. I've seen so many, you know, paintings of Archangel Gabriel with the lilies going to Mary, telling her she's going to have the baby. I've seen it so many times. I know how this goes. So if you really want to work with Archangel Gabriel, it's not about pregnancy necessarily, but it's about the foundations of communications, which is exactly what Gemini rules. Now, this is where your 12th house is playing a major player here, because this energy that is coming to pass with the full moon in Sagittarius is going to essentially lay the foundation for the next several months, astrology wise, at least, because it is a full moon that is about cosmic order and balance through action, which is why this is so important, because your 12th house and that full moon are partnership houses as well as partnership energies. And I want you to understand that, because again, you're going to be forced to go back on partnerships and examine every single one that you've been opened to, that you've said yes to, that you've been like, I'm 100% there. Because now it's about reviewing those, not just emotionally feeling them out, because don't get me wrong, Pluto's emotional, but Pluto retrograde will make you highly emotional. Oh yeah, I make no mistake. But once you realize, oh, I'm giving up to get better, and Pluto's going to give me better regardless, I might as well put in 2 good cents of what I really want to be better. So lastly, you have the Sunshine Yellow Dragon. This is about helping animals, serve animals, heal, respect, and understand them. But this is also about connecting to them with nature. And this is about bringing heaven to earth with the earth and air dragon, about balance and staying balanced and grounded in your visions and manifest your hopes and dreams. Now, how do we do that if we have all these turmoils? Well, first, you got to take your foot off the pedal on the 10th house, AKA your 7th house of Capricorn. Stop looking at partnerships for the value that they give to you and what they do for you. I need you to look at your sun sign energy, Scorpio's energy, Pisces energy, and I need you to look at Virgo. Don't even bother looking at Taurus. Taurus obliterated a whole bunch of stuff in your social life. Focus on Virgo. Focus on the Virgo placements in your chart. They're going to be important, because this is the thing. Virgo's the planner. She plans Demeter. She's the one who does the grain, helps people survive. The earth goes through starvation. Guess what she does? She provides, because she is the one who helps to grow it. She nurtures it, right? She's the mother who nurtures us with food. And this is important because we have Pellinor and the Lady, a bittersweet farewell. Now, this is one of my favorite cards in the deck, even though every time I pulled it, it is a little heartbreaking each time. Because I learned so much from it. I think that's why it's one of my favorites. And this card talks about saying farewell. Sometimes it can talk about reunions too, like an ex coming back, but I have yet to actually have that, though. Funny I mentioned that, right? Because I've been getting that message for like the last 3 months. I don't know what that's about. Should an ex manifest in my life? I'll let y'all know. But this talks about bittersweet endings. And the truth is this is one of those cards that I used to think to myself all the time, why do relationships have to end? Why? And I never saw it from that perspective of maybe it was needed because I had other things to do. Whereas this card actually brings that to the forefront and puts it in a way that it's not as painful. It talks about, lovers saying goodbye, or people and partnerships and things. We say goodbye because we have new beginnings to go to. We have, the sun's about to hit your solar sign for another year, another solar return. It's going to be a new cycle, all of this luck. And there's someone that you have to say goodbye to. I know you don't want to, or a situation, maybe it's like when you turn 30 and you say goodbye to your 20s, like maybe it's something like that, but it could be something more serious. For example, your marriage is ending and you're headed for divorce, and your spouse already filed and you've already worked so hard. And it's like, I get it, like it's one of those things too. But this is a time where instead of focusing on the bitter part of the goodbye, I want you to understand that the goodbye is happening regardless, because you have bigger and better things to move on. You have responsibilities that are coming to the forefront now, that if you stay in whatever this situation is that you have to say goodbye to, it won't be beneficial. But just because you're saying goodbye, this card always talks about reuniting, or knowing that the situation may not work out right now, but you will eventually be reunited with this person or this place in one way or another. And if it's not on this plane of existence, it might be in another realm. or another timeline or another dimension or even in the realm of the dead. So think of it like that. I know like that's what makes it bittersweet, but once you understand that, there's never really an ending. Like it's just like the last unicorn, you know, there's never really an ending. It's always just a new beginning. Like it's very much like that. And when I began to look at endings in that way, I mean, yes, would I still process those feelings of sadness? Of course. Hello, I'm in a human incarnation. I have to do that. But it helps me remove myself from the sad and to move forward into what is my present and to be active and engaged in that. You see what I'm saying? Instead of just watching life go by. So let's see what the Fae have for you in terms of blessings. I'm so hungry. Sorry, y'all, but like I haven't had anything to eat all day, and I had a dentist appointment at like 9 o'clock this morning, and so I was like, why bother eating? They're gonna clean, you know. Like I woke up at like 8:30, so I'm like, oh, I'm starving. Like 1 my time, 1:40, almost 2. Okay, show me please, my beautiful Sealy court beings for Cancer. What are the fairy blessings you would like to give to them this month in order to help them get through June into the first week of July? Oh, not that. That's a no-no. And I say that's a no-no because it's not a gift. It's just not ready for you to use yet. So you can't use it. So what's the point of pulling that card? Okay. Oh, okay, blessing of the ever young. It's so funny. Every time I pull that card, I always hear Everlong from the Foo Fighters. Like I always think of it, you know. But this actually talks about health, vitality, everything that the sixth house stands for, actually, in terms of Virgo, because Virgo rules the sixth house. So everything that Virgo stands for, planning, longevity, feeling, you know, youthful, but being old in age and having all of this wisdom backed up behind you, this is a perfect way to close out the reading and a perfect reminder to know that even when times are hard, you still will be able to move forward, and you have the youthful energy of the spirits of the Fae, of the Everlong, coming to you. This also talks about not just health and vitality, but green in terms of the heart chakra for sure. Orange here, a little bit of yellow with the solar plex. Might want to do some work on that. If you need to tune up, I always do chakra healings whenever I need them. So I look at it as like a tune up. But if you've never had one before, definitely there's a couple of videos by Jason Stevenson on YouTube. They're free. He does chakra healing cleansing work. Trust me, you'll have your first one, you'll do it again and again and again. He has 30-minute ones. He has ones before sleep. He has ones that, you know, I've done and I take a nap and I feel totally rested and rejuvenated afterwards. One actually does that and cleans your aura, which I like. But he also goes through guided meditations. So this is one of those things where you can do that, and it'll cleanse some of them cleanse, some of them clean, some of them clean and cleanse, some of them are just for chakras in particular. I know there are like some that are just only for the root or only for the solar plex or only for, you know, give it a shot. But most of those videos are meant to be like for sleep or when you're trying to meditate. If you can't do the full hour, that's okay. Sometimes I only do the first 15 minutes because I got a life to go live, right? So give yourself the necessary time that you need. But I know on those videos, you can't listen to them while you're driving. If you do, like it's not recommended. And they even say that at the beginning of the video. So please make sure to take the proper time to go listen to those when you want to meditate or relax or even enjoy a bath, you know. But since I don't know, my thing is since they put me to sleep, I don't listen to them in the bath because I probably go to sleep in the bath. So, you know, that's why I say try it when you're meditating or right before bed. Bath time, you could do like singing bowls. That one I could see for bath time. That would be fun. There's a guy on YouTube who does like singing bowls to different chakras. and they're like short little 20-minute videos. Those are good too, especially if you're like needing a quick tune-up. Also, I would say crystals. Normally, in terms of green crystals, the green that I have that is this color is jasper, which I really like. You could do that. You could do jade. You could do for the yellow for my solar plex people, you could do lemon quartz. I love lemon quartz. That one's a fun one. Stones that are yellow, ideally. I've only worked with one stone, which is lemon quartz, like one time, but I fell in love with it. Bumblebee jasper would be good too. You could do bumblebee jasper, which is a type of yellow jasper. You can also do pink stones if you can't find green, so don't panic. But realistically, Cancer, you have a lot going for you. You really do. And, you know, but this is talking about keeping ourselves disciplined to stay in balance. And I really think that will help you this month. So other than that, my loves, I will see you soon. If I do not come back in July because of my thing, I will let y'all know as soon as I find out. If I do, you'll know because I'll post another reading. Other than that, I love y'all so much. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to support me so I can pay for this surgery. And if you would like to also help me while I am currently going through all this and you want to look at my Patreon content, please do so on Patreon down in the description box below. I love y'all so much and I will see y'all soon. Bye, guys.